na tunakuanga afraid mostly to specialize in a niche, especially in the Kenyan market.
In a lot of those other dockets outside product, they've helped me to know how to be the bridge between the different departments.
Having a wide range of knowledge, it's advantage. So as much as people want to focus on certain niche, I think I'll advise someone you should just try to learn other things that relate to what you do.
Clients, I think, are hiring specialists who understand their problem quite well. Do you think you can be a specialist in all those fields?
Karibuni tena to Kenyan Design Conversations. Hii ni space ya Mad Vibes, Design Arts na zile real talks za kudesign, kudevelop na kulevel up maisha yako in style. Ko hapa kukuchanua while continuously upgrading each other, and also ni place ya kuchallenge our own personal beliefs. I know you know that, right?
Welcome back to Kenya Design Conversation. Mahali tunaongelea stories za design. Alafu karibuni wase wa Norway, unatusikiza sana. Netherlands. Ama ni uli travel juzi na hujatuambia Musa.
Passport yangu bado haijatoka.
Na ID uko nayo? Tapata namba plate ya KDK. Kama vile tugawana ni boxer.
Nangoja boxer ifike.
Yes. Yes. Alafu msisahau kusubscribe because the conversation itaendelea kuflow kila siku. Na leo tunaenda kuongelea choosing a design niche. Kizungu ilikuja na meli. Kama unasikia
ni chamanishi.
Kizungu ilikuja na meli. But anyway, we have a guest with us. Dev. Najua watu wamekukawia waambie unaitwanga Dev kwanza.
Acha tuanze na guest. Katasi. Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Unaitwa Mutheu ama Mutheu?
Don't butcher it. Don't butcher it. My name is Mutheu Njoroge. That's it. Or do I?
Hauna jina wazungu?
Purity. But I go by Mutheu Njoroge.
Nice.
Good to appreciate the culture. What do you do?
I'm a product manager. Currently working in a group of companies that deal in different sectors, which are fintech, oil and gas, and renewable energy. Yeah, that covers it.
Jina?
Mutheu Njoroge.
Nice one, jina ya company.
Tabu Group.
Okay.
Nice one.
Karibu.
Asante.
Mimi naitwa Dev, also I'm a product manager. Yeah. Au wengine watajiintroduce.
Musa, nasemaje?
Naitwa Musa.
Naitwa Musa.
Yeah.
Si Obanigush.
The only two. The one on the table like me.
And you?
Yeah.
Yes.
By the Musa introducing Musa Cop. Sombiangi watu kuna Musa Cop 75.
Yes.
Musa Cop, I don't introduce it. Yeah.
Tell people.
We need to know you. But anyway, unapatanga, you find like most designers in Kenya, they get to say like, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a brand designer. But tangu nianze kupata Musa nilikuja ku notice Musa ni product, ni packaging designer. I've never heard that. Like there's that niche. Okay, that niche.
Yeah.
How is it? Do you have a niche?
Yeah, nimekuwa nikijump through a couple of niches kama hiyo ni such a word kama hiyo.
But Kiingereza ilikuja na meli.
Yeah, so far nimejipata niko into product. But nilianza na graphic design. Yeah.
Mzee, uko na niche ama sisi wote ni in the same boat? But mimi nitakuwa designer. Something funny. Yes. Nani alianza kumchangwaji ya colors? Naonanga tu color yake tu yenye ni black, alafu kuna white hapo kando.
Hakuna shida ya kuwa na color.
Yeah. Okay.
Anaona ni black and white.
Context, backstory. How did you find yourself in product?
Accidentally, actually.
Wow.
Hiyo ndo tunataka kusikia.
Accidentally. My background is in communication, and marketing.
Ah,
So for the longest time, nimekuwa in comms and marketing. And then at some point, I got into an organization where we were working hand in hand in a lot of the designers and developers who produce a couple of products. Back then, I was in the nonprofit world. So I noticed there's a gap of sorts when it comes to a lot of the nonprofits don't really go for, platforms that are, one, good looking, and two, that are actually as effective as they should when it comes, like, if you compare the nonprofit world na tech or fintech, you don't get as much products in this line in the nonprofit world. So I thought, okay, can I do something about it? I used to talk to a lot of my friends who happen to be developers, and others happen to be graphic designers and UX designers. And one of them was just like, by the way, why don't you venture into product design? And I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what it is. So anyway, long story short, aliniambia about it, and I was like, okay, I actually do have a creative side that I'd want to explore. And the fact that product design also can use a background in different industries, I thought, why not? I went for the training. It was a lot more of practice and like the different classes to Likwa. And then product management was accidental because the post that I was supposed to get in my current company was basically product design, but nkajipata, since it's also a startup, unafanya a lot of other things besides the product design. So nikaingia into product marketing because at the time I could be able to do a few things in there. Yeah.
You seem to be lucky and you have evaded a lot of bullets, because most of us tunaanzanga na graphics unaenda UI UX, of which sort of in across to product, na tunakuanga afraid mostly to specialize in a niche, especially in the Kenyan market. Though where umekuwa like jump straight into it, have you ever felt like where you are, you need to expand and know what others are doing in other fields, other areas? Kuingia graphic design, you see what these guys doing. Kuingia UI UX, because me personally I've been interested to learn about product design, but industrial design, like the mugs, the phones, the chairs, every physical product we are using. Curiosity, but pia I feel like, luckily enough, I'm a product designer, but for most of the markets that are outside there. Hapa Kenya ukispecialize inakanga ni kama you need to find the next thing because there's that fear. Have you ever find yourself in such a place?
Yeah, I think the number one fear I've always had is feeling like an imposter, imposter syndrome.
Nice.
Where, like, as I said, I never saw myself. I always thought, even when I got into product design, I always thought like a couple of years. Yeah. And then for some reason, I get into a company and they're trusting me to do a lot of other things. So I've always had that kind of thing. But I think for me, nimelan that it's an ever-evolving industry or role or title. So that means you can be able to teach yourself on some of the things. Practice also makes it perfect. And thankfully, niko in a space where I can be able to practice and do a lot of learning on the job, because we are producing a lot of products at the same time. So it kind of, I'm learning a lot on the job. Yeah.
You seem to be the first designer nimepata and admit imposter syndrome. I also I'm in your space. In that case where I'm learning as I go, I feel like I'm an imposter. People are trusting me and that I'm also just figuring it out. Nimepata wase na waulizanga hizo maswali, but they are like, no, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm learning as I go. But you're the first person to admit that.
I think maybe in perspective watu wanaangalia imposter syndrome. Yes. Like if I did this thing, I can't do the other thing. So you trust yourself with that, but deep down you go like, these are different these are different problem nimepewa leo, but I have to fix it in a different way. But deep down unakubali tu venye nilifanya last time, hata hii like unaona tu hauna hiyo imposter, but unapatana mtu hapa nayo tu. This designer nishaipata designer moja akona nini akona niche, she designs for NGOs. So the other time
ako nini gani?
Huh?
Which design specifically? Web.
Yes.
UI UX.
UI UX, yes.
But here to NGOs.
Yes, NGOs.
That's also niching.
But I find it a bit hard in Kenyan market. Like you as designers, mniambie how is that? Because kama mimi namjua kama designer, the time I approached her, alikuwa anataka ani design a website ya ku market alcohol.
When you NGO?
No. I got a gig. Na hiyo gig iko ya NGO.
Oh, okay.
Yes, akaniambia can't do that. That's how do you handle that if you just try to be specific, like you saying you will be a packaging designer and then nakuletea kazi social media posters.
I think issue inakuwa ni consistency of clientele.
Yes.
Unaweza sema mimi nafanya packaging design, then upate that market is so dry.
But if someone is employed, because you're speaking from two point of view, if freelance,
I think if you're employed, you are at an advantage depending on how you see it. Like kama mimi, back in the days niko 5, it was easy and it was also hard because by the end of the day, in Kenyan market, we know graphic design, they do everything.
Yeah.
You do social media, you do video production, you do motion graphics, you do web design. Wewe ndio unaweza fix computer.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack of all trades. So, na hizi ndio shida. Hata kama unasema ukiwa 5, still you'll have the same problem, especially when you're a graphic designer.
8 ama 9.
Ilikuwa ni 5. You 8 then.
Do you know 9 to 5 means 9 hours? 9 hours a day, 5 days a week. See 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. Do you know that?
Now I know.
9 hours. Ukitoa lunch break ni 8 hours. So in general it's 9 hours. 5 days a week. 9 to 5.
Oh, si ilikuwa naenda mpaka Saturday.
Si hawaindi misemi yako. Anyway, back to the guest. Wewe ulianza kama background ya communication. Do you feel like it was a mistake you could have ventured into product early on ama ilikupea upper hand in what you're doing?
I really believe nanipatia an upper hand because I think the one thing that comforted me getting into product design and management is the fact that your background in any industry is always an upper hand, always gives you an upper hand.
Yeah.
So that definitely was an upper hand because sasa, for example, in my position, having a background in social media, in writing, in some journalism because I found myself doing some of that. In what else? In a lot of those other dockets outside product, they have helped me, and also now in product design because I also have a background in product design.
Yeah.
They've helped me to know how to be the bridge between the different departments. I work closely with the founder of the company. I also work closely with the communications team. I also work closely with the product designers. I also work closely with the developers.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole A to Z that all that information and background really has helped to, forge those lines.
Sorry kidogo tu. Hii point itapotea. I'm struggling to but na manifest getting better. Struggling is just a word I'm using, but I'll get better at it. I'm struggling to come up with product requirements, especially curating acceptance criteria and all those other stuffs. Work on a background in communication. Seems that you are very good at that, right?
I wouldn't say I'm bad.
Yeah, kama you're not bad, then nakutafuta nyuma ya tent. You show me your ways because I'm using AI most often. Why in a bako?
After your tent.
Iko hapo juu.
Been vacation your hotel.
You had something to say, sorry.
I think with that, having a wide range of knowledge, it's advantage because the other day nilikuwa nafanya packaging design for a very big factory. It was a tea industry. It's in tea industry. Then I realized kukuwa na a wide knowledge of things, it's so advantageous because ya kwanza you're dealing with a factory that only packages the bulk teas. They don't know anything about the fast moving goods.
Yes.
So for me, I had that wide knowledge here, how packaging works from beginner designing to go to production plus na finalizing everything. I think it helped me in a way that I realized as much as community tulikuwa tunafanyishwa kazi ya punda. I realized that
Yeah,
one of the
10 to 5.
I realized that one of the other, it was something that I should have appreciated rather than complaining back then. Because in idea, you realize that you're working with people who absolutely, they have only knowledge of tea. But beyond that, when it comes to these supermarket products, they absolutely have no idea. So me coming with that knowledge, then you try to teach them how this thing works. I realized that it was a blessing. So as much as people want to focus on certain niche, I think I'll advise someone you should just try to learn other things that relate to what you're doing. Because by the end of the day, I don't care approach client. The more resourceful you are, the more clients you'll get. Because ule client utadili akienda kutana msemo mwingine mwenye anahitaji asema look for this guy. I think he knows more than what he just does. I think most people should branch out. Then later on, even if you're focusing on one niche, you have a wide knowledge of things.
But I beg to differ. Clients, I think, are hiring specialists who understand their problem quite well. Do you think you can be a specialist in all those fields?
You can be a specialist, but by the end of the day, you need to have a wide knowledge. So if I want to just venture on packaging design, by the end of the day, I have knowledge when it comes to tuseme kama nimepata client wanataka kufanya complete rebrand plus packaging. So I know how they're going to do the entire thing. Even I'll drive them. When it comes to when it goes to the market, I can tell the clients this is how you're going to do. This is how you're going to advertise yourself. You can use social media, you can use like any other means to make sure that you're getting into market. So as much as I'm focusing only on packaging design, but I have this other knowledge that I can teach the client that by the end of the day, as much as I'm giving you this, there's also this other thing I'm trying to bundle you with, of which it's advantage even to you. Yeah.
Startups wasn't a change very fast. Do you feel like you're going to be stuck there forever in product management? Ama you're open to exploring other areas? Juu uko na background in communication. Kesho wanaweza sema by there tuna marketing lead. We need you in this space.
We have this to the market.
Exactly. I think right now I'm actually appreciating it because it gives me like a diverse skill set that will give me the chance and opportunity to even go elsewhere. Venye tumesema, startups, you will wear a lot of hats, and that's what I'm currently doing, right? But it also teaches you a lot that will be helpful in one industry or the other. So it's not necessarily a bad thing at this time in my career, but I hope to get to a point where I will specialize in maybe a certain field that will give me like a leeway to get into another space.
How will you know you've reached that point?
I think you'll always know. You'll always know when it's time to exit.
I want you to tell someone who's trying. Ajui kama amefika. Like, do you have clue on how you najua yenyewe nimefika place? I need to narrow down.
I don't think like you'll ever get 100%.
Yeah.
Right? But I think you can always feel that, okay, now I'm comfortable enough to step out of this space into like another space. Because ideally, I was even listening to a different talk, and I realized it's actually very true. What they were saying was, a lot of hirers right now will be looking to poach people from startups.
Yeah.
Because startups are, they give you a lot to work on.
In a brew specialist.
Exactly. So before it's actually helpful, to start at a startup and then work your way up into like specializing in something.
Umepata LinkedIn DMs ngapi?
Quite a few actually. But I haven't been keen on following up on it for now. I feel like I still have a lot to do and learn in. But I think when the opportunity rises, I'll be willing to take it.
Mtu uenda alafu unaambia uko napewa hii, so I want this much, and then wakikupea hiyo unakuja una counter your employer, unamwambia you see they are giving me this figure. But imekuwa the talk for quite some time, but from where I sit, I don't think it's effective. Sometimes there's a very good rapport you create with your leadership, with the team and the people you're around with. Unaweza kimbia somewhere because of the figures they are promising you, and you find it's another hell.
It's within the culture that is very yes. The question you asked, I want to ask you.
Yes.
Like you have traversed, you have transitioned from graphics to up to now you don't want to be a designer anymore.
Semi, I don't want to be a designer.
Yes.
I just don't want to push pixels.
Okay.
Ati nikae chini pushing pixels. No, I can be the director. I can be the lead. That's where I'm heading. Yeah.
How did you identify like, hey, hapa nimetosheka na graphic design, like now let me now move to the next?
It's just a spark. I'm so intuitive. Something just tells me it's time. I started with graphic design, and then I find Chris Do. Chris Do was like, do more than graphic design. I went to brand strategy and everything. I did it for quite some time on Apple Fiverr. Nikona 5-star ratings huko, though account ni dormant. I did it for quite some time, and I don't know, something just sparked in me, and it was the right time because AI was coming in. Right now you can't find brand strategists. So nauliza nini? There are GPTs that are created with inside ChatGPT to help you create search. So in a market, and then that's why I switched to make a realize Figma. But it has been like home because back then when I was a kid, I used to love interfaces. I used to love computers, the interface, Linaka. So when I find Figma, I'm like, also ilikuwa Adobe XD. I was like, oh, this is home. I feel like now I'm in that space. And then through the people I've been working with, they have been seeing what I'm doing, and then hapo ndo nikafika kwa product management.
Sasa umesema utaki kuchora ma lines na circles.
I think I'm see ati kimadharau, but have you been in that space where you feel like you just any of you, like you just don't want to sit down, push pixels, you just want to do something bigger than that? Okay. Nimekujibu.
Umenijibu vizuri sana. It reminds me mbona niliacha kufanya design pia. Yes. Nikamwa
wewe uko designer tu naturally.
Design nywele yangu. Design is so addictive.
Something kishazoea. So addictive.
No, maybe the perspective I was looking on when naangalia design. Because sooner from the software development world, you just have to solve a problem. But in the designer's world, you're creating an imaginary solution to a problem. You don't have, you're not that, I'll pay guardrails, like it's most of the time, it has to be within this.
In simple programming, it's logic. 2+2.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you're just creating something that is existing.
It's pulling from logic that exists. Like kama gravity, you can't go against gravity.
You can't go against gravity. Gravity will be there.
But sisi yetu inakuanga more something out there, like beyond reality. You be creative.
That is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Halik Garden Gala, which is located in Nairobi along Wayaki Way, next to Nairobi School, just before the ABC roundabout, where all your plants and garden accessory needs are met. We specialize in landscaping, indoor, outdoor, and ornamental plants, fruit trees, metallic flower baskets, fiber, clay, and plastic pots, garden ornaments and accessories like wind chimes, garden arcs, benches, bird baths, you name it, just to add that unique artistic charm to your garden. So whether you're starting a home garden, running your office, or even doing it as a hobby, we've got the perfect plant for you to help turn your space into a green haven. We do deliveries countrywide. Visit us today. Let's grow something beautiful.
Maybe find it a bit hard.
That's why I'm nakwambia.
And that's why I'm not a
It's
designer.
not your thing.
I think me actually nimejaribu toka design imenishinda, because anytime napita naangalia billboard na vibaya, it just makes me to want to do something else. Unapata billboard like imekuwa, I've been complaining this for quite a while. Billboard wameka kila kitu hapo hivi, imekuwa kwa highway, so it doesn't make sense. So until the day people will realize that you can just put your product and some few information over there, then the rest you leave it for people to contact you.
I think you're beginning with a very big problem, my friend. Unaangalia problem kubwa. Kuna poster za waganga zimejaa huko. Why don't you redesign for them? Unakaa una replace.
Talking about
Kuna pin yao unatoa yake. Then you leave your number there pia.
I know once upon a time, there was one time I was inspired by, there was this graphic designer, I think Alco States. He used to find these posters kama huku za Kenya hizo za waganga, sijui zile za massages zinakanga funny. He just goes there, he takes the picture, he goes and creates like everything. He creates like logo, then he makes that it looks nice, minimalist. Then he prints, go and replace it. He used to do that for several.
Sasa talking about it. we have different clients. Like kama hii Dama, anaitwa Dama Spares, the one that sells mobile spares. Yes.
Yeah, Dama Spares yeye ndio
Dama
anamika
Spares.
mpaka nimechoka.
Sasa you get a client like that, about billboards, you get a client kama huyo. Yana kwa maana nataka vitu zangu zikae venye amesema. So if content ni mingi, you can't avoid it.
That's where brand strategies come in.
And that
But you find like most of the Kenyan clients, they don't even know like there's a brand strategist.
That brings in the next question.
Yes.
And it's gonna circle back to that. Have you ever been in a freelancing space? Have you ever freelanced before ufike mahali umefika?
Yeah, a couple of times actually. When
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, a couple of times actually. When I was getting into product design, I had to do that for practice. I was still working the comms job, so I did a lot of freelancing work from churches to hospitals to SaaS platforms.
Kuna mtu hajai wakia church. Anyway. Every designer ameusikia amewakia
Yeah.
church. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, for practice I did.
So how do you niche down without starving? Because niche yako inafaa kupia kwa reality in the market. Na hiyo ndio Kenya hao wanaongelea, going to that point.
I think the debate of generalism versus specialization, I think it depends on the context. Right now in Kenya, hata ukiangalia the job descriptions on LinkedIn, they want someone who does everything.
Imekuwa tu hivyo from the
Yeah.
longest time.
Yeah, but we're also having an emergence of companies that appreciate specialization. Unapata like in a whole team of maybe product team, you have the UX copywriter, you have the designer, you have, and in
Kwani
others,
wapi huko?
it depends. Again, it depends with the context. It depends with the company that you're looking at. But I also think it also depends with the level of the company, you know, you're looking at.
Yep.
Because the ones that pay well, yeah, are the ones that appreciate specialization.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones that want everyone to do everything. They're trying to cut down on budgets, which is not a bad thing, but I think it also kills the whole aspect of creativity, because you can never be you're a good developer and also a really nice front-end designer. You know, you can't do those two. You know, there's one that will have to suffer.
Yeah.
You know, so but I think the generalism helps if you're in a leadership position, because now it means that you have the people who are specializing in something under your team, and because you have a good idea of what all the different buckets entail, you have a better time doing it.
So umesema butchery, hardware, if you are still targeting those clients, tujipange. Nonetheless unawakia.
At the end of the day, pesa ni pesa. So
yeah. The other day there was this YouTuber, I think nimesahau title ya that horror film ilikuwa released the first weekend, beat some of the top studios movies, and the guy he was the cinematographer, he was the choreographer, he was the producer, he was the director, and then he was the actor in that movie.
Wow.
And you can imagine your movie on an opening weekend. It means like majority are these big studios, like even Marvel, come out the DC, those that were released the same weekend.
Yeah.
So when it comes to generalization, I think you have to work hard to become good. But if you know yourself, you can't work hard, then specialization should be a thing.
But even if you're going to specialization, first thing you have to be on the ground, like ushike hizo parts zote zenye unafikiria ziko around you. So
Spanner boy.
Yeah, lazima kuwe spanner boy. Hadi karibu kunauza butchery ndio angalia kama hiyo poster na kafiti. Unaona? So at least at the end when you're going to specialize, unajua like I need this, I gain this skill, because of these skills I gained, now I can now focus on this. But because these other skills can help me move along that.
Yeah, in reality,
yes.
It's like you're specializing in packaging design,
yes,
but you don't know how to negotiate your prices. You don't know how to write a contract. So you're specializing on something that you are going to be misused by the end of the day.
Yes.
So if you don't learn these other small special skills that can push your specialization, then I think someone is wasting time when it comes to specialization.
So umesema tuanze tukiwa accountants.
Actually, in every college when you are teaching some certain specialities, I think you need to include some business inside it. Because most of us tuliingia kwa market na tujui business. We just know to push pixels.
Hakuna ati mwenye ameingia kijua, and this conversation has been going on for quite some time. We need to come up with that because
we are already in the plan.
Business of design.
Yes.
It's actually a thing. People are learning to push pixels. They're not learning the business behind.
So, but this one reminds me something. In when I was joining campus, there was this. They call them common units. There's one about entrepreneurship, and there's another one for communication skills.
Yes.
No, but it's a common unit. People look at it like he need to push grades.
Actually,
yes.
I don't mean doing. If there's one thing, I really regret things, but one thing I regretted was we were taught communication skills. It was part of the unit, but we never took it seriously.
But nilifanya tu simu niliandika letter.
Me, I took it seriously. I was talking to the mirror. Najiongelesha every morning because tuliambiwa go practice that. If you guys never did that, you never took it serious. It's up to you. Najua mwalimu hawezi kufuata.
Especially in campus. Especially in campus, umetoka high school mahali uko guarded kila mahali, and then in campus you have freedom to do everything. So nasema tufungue hizo vitabu.
Yep.
Yes. But how has it been? We're talking about business in design and that having a niche. Business in design, you find like, where kama ni designer, you just know design. Ukiambiwa hii product, hii utaweza uza pesa ngapi, ndio utauliza, give me some few, tanifikiria, and then I'll get back. Now you have to go to someone, you consult about it, and you come back. Do you ever find yourself in that? Because when that business in design will come, probably to never have to close your loop.
I think early on, especially as I was getting into product design, and in between freelancing, also took on some jobs, some contracts hapa na pale, and then I always had an issue pricing my services, because you're thinking, okay, I don't know how people price this thing. You know, you probably have to make a few calls just to be able to get back to the client, to the proposal. But I think as you go further along, you get to appreciate some things. You get to appreciate that kila mtu akona bei yake. Kuna ule mwenye like they'll do an entire project at 60k. Kuna mwenye atafanya an entire project at 200k. I think the further along you go, you'll be able to know how to price yourself. Yeah.
Na figures zako ni 50, 60.
Hata 30.
Kwani unalipisha ngapi?
Mimi. Si tunaanza nchwani. As in 150, not 150,000.
150 bob.
Yes. It depends.
Achana huyo yuko serious.
But I think also when it comes to pricing, pricing goes with the skills.
100.
Experience ama skill?
I think
Ama skill ni experience.
It can be different, but I think it can be, yeah.
So if you can't improve your skills, then by the end of the day, you can't charge that logo 10,000. Huwezi. Huwezi charge your logo 20,000. Because by the end of the day, at a client at Angalia, you're charging me 20,000. Road in being on Angleterre. It doesn't make sense. Because even your skills also includes when you're talking to the client.
Communication.
Yeah.
Kuna mtu hapa atatupeleka Daru.
Yes. Mtapin location yoyote.
Yes.
Because you also need to switch talk your client, umfunze, umwambie like, I'm not just going to give you a logo, I'm going to give you a brand identity. Nitakupatia logo, nitakupatia canvas, nitakupatia social media templates, nitakupatia typography, plus some other small things, including how you're going to brand your companies when it comes to
Okay, real world application.
Yeah, real world application.
Yeah.
So if you can't teach your clients like these are the things you need, then by the end of the day, logo tutakuwa nafanya sotano. Utaitoka hapo.
Do you feel like people niche early? Is there something like that? Unaona mtu Twitter big wig anafanya something in design, you say, wow, I want to do this, and then you jump in. Ama mtu anafaa I explore kwanza. Kiss 1,000 frogs.
I don't think there's one shoe size that fits all.
Yeah.
I think some people have found themselves specializing early because they got the opportunity. And some people were a bit confused as they were starting, so they tried everything, right? So I think it also depends with one, the experience that you've gotten so far. Unaweza pata maybe, but you also have a few people who already know what it is that they want to do in life. Like already anajua, I want to specialize and like concentrate in fintech. And that's the line that they will take.
Let me challenge you. Product design has not been a thing over the last few years. If someone was to say, I'm sticking with this and I want to do this, and something like this inatokea, so do you feel like huyo ni mtu amepotea, ama we should be open-minded, you know, because especially tech, things are changing quite fast.
Yeah.
So I beg to also differ and challenge you. There are people, yes, who know what they are doing, but also the field you're going in must be very solid. Kama farming, maybe replace you na AI. miaka zingine kama so come maybe.
No.
But there are things like yenye kanye tunafanya sahi.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be rendered. I don't know what's the term. A few years
later.
Years na come.
Okay. Talking about AI and farming for sure. But it goes in every field. You could replace you some.
Like in farming, si sahi.
Farming. No. I was watching a documentary. This company in Australia. They are doing AI and robotics, and they're measuring on how to taking care of cattle. Yes.
Yeah.
So you see, like if you have bigger ranches, people use helicopters. Have a lot of people around, so it's very expensive to do that, and in terms of feeding. But now they have robotics that do that autonomously. A robot can go back and charge itself, come back to take care of the enemy.
That's uzuri umesema Australia. Si Kenya. Yeah, so si tuko na
Long way to go. Ama unasema Kenya tuna mashamba.
Kama ni nija come self-driving cars hazijafika all that time. Anyway, that question was for you.
Yeah.
Do you have any sentiments about that?
I still believe it depends on the context.
Yeah.
Unaweza pata for a lot of people early in their career, they didn't know what exactly they wanted to do. Yeah. But as I also said, you can't be everything. Even as a product designer, you can't be everything.
Yeah.
You can't be good at research plus, design plus, everything in that entire process. So as you move along in your career, you'll be able to know what it is that you want to specialize in and always go for those opportunities. Because at the end of the day, hata kama we're not just looking at Kenya. We live in a remote world right now.
Yeah.
You might be in Kenya and getting a job outside there. Yeah. And they actually value the whole specializing bit. So it really depends on the context.
Wewe umependa part gani kwa product design?
UX writing. Because it's what I've been doing a lot in in a lot of the companies I've been working with. I also love design. I love design. I like going through your process, your discovery, where you get to, walk hand in hand with the client on whatever product it is, and get to a point where you can be able to answer the what, why, and how.
Design thinking process.
Yeah.
Talking about UX writing, tell me more about UX writing.
What aspect?
What's UX writing? Literally.
Wow, I've never had anyone ask me that question. But I think it's the whole entire process of coming up with content that will be used to relay the message of the product. Because at the end of the day, you're not targeting everyone.
Yeah.
So you also need to know how to talk to the person that you're targeting. And you need to intimately understand who they are and what they like and what problem they're trying to solve and what solutions you guys can actually solve. Yeah, it's so much. It's so similar to copywriting. Yeah. But you see, if you've ever been a writer, you've had to take on different personalities to just talk to the different people. Yeah.
So
it's how your product communicates to me as a user.
Yeah.
So it's like creating a persona.
It's like it's not just, but creating the persona part is also part of it, because you need to understand who you're talking to so that you can be able to resonate with them. There's some words I could use here and it would resonate with you specifically and not resonate with them.
Yeah.
Because one,
Go right.
Cinder. Yeah.
Come on.
It reminds me of something. There's a time I was working on a project. It was a company that does export of green fresh produce. So I don't know if it was a copywriter, can say, or a UX writer, but we had they called a bank, word bank. Yeah, there was a word bank. So they were saying if
Glossary. The other term is glossary.
Not really. Like a word bank, of which walikuwa nasema, because so that's an international company. So they were saying in Europe we'll use on the site we'll use these words.
Oh yeah.
But in Kenya we'll use like these words. Yes.
Was it a product ama gonna develop product?
It was just a website.
Oh yeah, so that's, I think
That's
that's
a
UX writer.
That's a UX writer.
Sometimes they cross,
Yes.
because mimi where the team that I'm working with actually is the marketing lead.
Yeah.
She's so good at copywriting. She crosses and comes to the side to help with the UX writing and all that. Yeah. But women, then you do UX writing.
Wow. But anyway, we answer from communication. So start writing is very easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, okay, anyway, this is off the topic. Designers communication and feedback, it's a challenge. Yes, how do you handle even feedback because you're good in communication? And yeah, clients anaweza kuambia ama employer anaweza kuambia like we hadi unashangaa why am I even here?
And to add on top of that, I'm a product manager. I've experienced you own nothing, but you are accountable for everything. If the team succeeds, it's the team.
The team.
If something goes wrong, it's
It's
you.
you.
So how do you position yourself when it comes to such scenarios and giving feedbacks and communicating clearly?
I think after having worked with different people, you get to pick your battles. You know how to pick your battles.
Yeah.
In the sense that kuna clients who might come and they're like, I just take over the whole process. If you tell me this is going to work, we'll go with that. Na kuna ule client, they know what it is that they want, so you can't really change them much, right?
Yeah.
I feel as thus far, what has always helped me is the fact that I will always tell the client, okay, this is what I think. Na kusikuwe na situation where you'll tell me, kwa nini hukuniambia, So even if the ideas differ, one, I'll always be upfront and tell you, okay, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think, right? But also something else that also helps is just getting to understand why is it that the client wants that specific thing. There's a way around it, right? If you can be able to figure that out, then you'll be able to work hand in hand with the client, because it also gives them a better experience where they go learning. Because some clients, honestly, they don't know much about the product that they want. Yeah? And if you've probably worked on that same product, if you've probably been updated on what's happening on the ground, you'll be able to better advise, right? But that's just it. You pick your battles and, yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Can I have your attention, please? Story time. So kuna time nimekuwa Kiambu and I was really hungry, and I passed by this place that looked like it had an amazing view, like venye viti zimetengenezwa, the ambience inside the cafe itself. Kuna pia section fulani hiyo side ingine. Clearly ilikuwa inakaa busy ya kuchill and relax. Very nice, humble waitress attended to me. She was very polite. I asked for rice and chicken, and I really loved the food. This is a place that's called Ekaya Gardens. Ekaya meaning home in Zulu. I am also inviting you to come, chill, relax. If you want to work, if you want to eat, come for the food, stay for the vibes, live with memories.
I'm developing a course in communication and feedback. Enye ukiambiwa make it pop. As a designer, you have to think, sit back and ask yourself, Mona amesema make it pop. Easier for you to understand. Let me finish on it first.
There was one joke ya make it pop. Ilikuwa so vile Photoshop inakonga na hizo ma drop down. So there's one place ilikuwa pale kwa place ya edit. Ilikuwa muongeza
make it pop. Akikwambia make it pop, you click there.
Make it pop. You just go there and you click it and the design pops.
Do you feel like choosing a niche is about limiting yourself? It's about being known for something?
I feel like it also depends with when you're trying to do that in your career. If you're trying to do that early on, I feel like it might be setting yourself up for failure, right? Because you cannot be such a novice designer or product manager, and yet you're specifically focusing on one area. You need to be able to know and be flexible and dynamic at the same time, right? And then later on in your career you can be able to just specialize better, because that also means at the end of the day you have the background in whatever is needed, and then you're just narrowing down on whatever it is that specific context needs.
You've answered my question, Mekoki Dodge, the first few minutes, but now you've answered it. I wanted to see where you sit in terms of niching early, not so mesema. Watu wanaendelea the streets kwanza.
Lazima utembee kwa ground experience first.
Yeah, it comes in handy.
The other day I was watching Chris do the episode, I think he talked about 6 years ago. He was talking to his strategist. The guy was from German, but he moved to States. So Chris B alikuwa muuliza, how did you become a brand strategist? Then I realized that for us, our education system and our not just education system, the entire system is just completely wrong. Because for him, he was not sure what he wanted to become. So the parents stepped in, then akampeleka kwa wanatanga watu wa kugrade wase C therapist.
Life coach?
Yeah, kind of life coach. Then from there ndio akagundua I need to focus on this.
Yeah.
So I think for us ours is usually hard. You want to become a graphic designer, the parents tells you, what is that? Why are you not becoming a teacher or a doctor or those careers that people are used to forced to do? It's not that people want to sit down with their kids and try to learn more about their kids, because you don't lazimisha kwa mwalimu na mistake kwa mwalimu. Things are just totally off from teaching. You might force someone to become a doctor na pengine hata kuangalia damu. So I think for us, for this generation, I think we can try to do better when it comes to those people who want maybe to niche. If your kids wants to niche, then I think you can guide them on how to do it, rather than the world will teach you the hard way. Ulefanya.
Wewe.
Yeah, mimi.
Yes.
Hata mimi nijiongelee mimi.
Mariga, any question you have on that?
A question, not really a question. I find it in Kenya, it's a bit hard to niche down to a specific specialization at an early age, kwa sababu kitu ya kwanza in Kenya kila kitu ndio inaanza it's like a beginning. Yes.
Tuna systems.
Yeah, we don't have systems. Sasa ukisema unataka kuwa brand strategist sahi and umetoka kufanya graphics juzi. It's very hard. Who are you going to? Yes.
And also to add on that, I think I can put it this way: there is nothing like specialization. Because ukiangalia, have you ever wished after the work of a creative director?
No.
It might look like niche,
Yes.
but the things that a creative director needs to know, I think most people are just imposters, like how I can say it. As much as someone wants to call themselves creative director, most people around are imposters, because creative director, you need to know design, you need to know
Communication,
a bit of video production, motion graphics, like you need to know social media design, like majority of things you need to know before you say you sit down and say, I'm a specialist creative director.
So you're saying if you want to be a specialist, you have to wear many hats before you become a specialist.
Yeah. There are those things I accept, like you can just focus on it, then that's it. But kuna zile, if you want to focus on it, you need to have much knowledge in several things.
In my own opinion, in Kenya, early on there's no specialization because it's about survival. You're coming out there, you want to do something, so you get out there and do whatever you can. Wear many hats, be a jack of all trades. Kwanza. And then, if you go and look at job descriptions, there's one I applied and I actually went and I did the job. I think Nishai same up. I was a designer. I was the marketing department. I was the photographer. And I still need to make sales. Because niko na record yangu ya sales every month on an audit. How many sales have you brought in? And when you're doing it, it's a store that they deal with machineries kama hizi water pumps, generators, those types of machineries unazijua, workshop tools hizo. So you need to take photos of each product. You need to come, sit down, you need to create like 7 posters a day, design them. You need to manage their online markets kama Gigi, Facebook and Jumia. And also you need to be calling and following up people to make sales. It's about survival. I was doing that because I needed the money at that time. But I've reached a point where I cannot do that anymore because
You have the money.
yes, I have the money.
but I think it's something I help. I was also going through the same. I was working in a company whereby they were the largest exporter of Kenyan tea.
Ketepa.
Not Ketepa. Skeleton gold.
Oh.
So I used to tell people that when you were told he was in the way, we were in marketing department. People used to think like we were like, so now how Safaricom his marketing department is a whole population. We used to be.
Kumbe wewe ni briefcase umebeba.
Actually, we used to be 5. We used to tell people we're only 5 in marketing department. What over nini?
Hii Kericho Gold, naijua hii. I will sue them.
But as much as we were less, I think in this idea when it comes to like right now, I have so many experience in so many things when it comes to marketing, design, packaging design, all those things, plus managing some other inventories and whatever. When it comes to packaging design, I have knowledge when it comes to which kind of material the grammage is. So as much as we used to complain, it was a good thing.
Sasa unasema intern ama atachie nenda kufanya kazi mahali, akipewa kazi ya communication, asirudi kusoma contract yake inasema JD yake inasema inafaa kuwa tu designer. Akubali tu the other hats.
Most of the companies in Kenya, ukisoma the contract is usually specify like this is the job you're going to do. When somanga any other duty assigned to you. Go and read those contracts. We used to complain. Go and read the contract and any other job assigned to you. You just go back and then you ato wendi kwa HR. Unanyenyekea tunafanya.
Ushaambia ufagie.
Thankfully no. Thankfully no. But an unpopular opinion that I have is now when amesema about our education system, it doesn't really help you to narrow down on something. Even when you get out, unaweza pata like even if you do go to a life coach and they help you narrow down on something, you're still not 100%, because you might actually get into it and realize this is not what I thought it was,
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing to, probably you're just out of school, umeingia campo, and you're taking on like a course or a degree that maybe your parents, asked you to take. It can come in handy, especially in tech. If you have maybe parents who asked you to maybe get into teaching, unaweza pata that information would actually help when it comes to tech. You might be a product designer in a company that deals with education and tech and all that. So it comes in handy one way or another.
You've said a lot of stuffs, but just to close, could you summarize for someone who's struggling out there? They wanaingia hii field, they don't know where to start. AI is there. The fear of AI iko kwa kila mtu.
And then
Luckily enough,
and then nasikia Dave alienda ka graphic designer, sasa anacha design.
luckily enough, you've been lucky to jump from a different, though they are cousins, I'll say that, but you jumped over from that side to this side. Kama umekuja umekuwa product manager, tuambie kitu.
Okay. Personally, I believe AI is not going to take over, because I think we are living in an age where, even as a product manager, even for me to come up with a PRD, I have to use AI one way or another.
Yeah.
But having also a good understanding of your product is what you're going to leverage on, because you can't just give people what AI has spit out. You know, you have to literally make sure that it actually works on and gives whatever information is needed that is specifically about the product. So AI is not necessarily a bad thing. We can all embrace it to make our work easier, right?
Ambia huyu ndio anafia.
That's what I think, right? Will it obliterate some of the positions? Probably yes, right? Which is a bad thing, but it also means that if you're in a space where you can be able to embrace AI, just do it, right? Because it will make your work so much easier. Yeah.
Had US government cut 300,000 jobs and replace them with AI.
Yeah. So it has its pros and cons. It has its pros and cons.
It's the same thing that happened when industrialization came in. People used to be like kufunga nati, and then conveyor belts came. Yes, people had to go home.
I think we've said this and we'll repeat saying it. AI will replace people who won't adapt.
True.
Where will people find you?
My LinkedIn. It's at Mutheu Njoroge. Yeah, I think that works.
Something funny. We were in a class with her.
Yeah.
Design class.
Ono kusema mkianza. Wewe unajua ajui colors. Alikuwa anafanya aje?
Design class.
Tulikuwa na design class.
Mko shule gani? Which school?
It was not a school. It was a you know Max. Yes. Max had created a curriculum for us, like some designers. So he was teaching us like about design. Yes. So we were in that class together.
You probably hang boots. Otherwise, industry ingekuwa mess. Anyway.
People could have embraced AI.
So people will find you on LinkedIn. As,
yeah, Mutheu Njoroge. I'm Mutheu Njoroge on all platforms.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you freelance away from Nani employer workers?
Just as long as I'm able to meet the deadlines.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So wanaweza kutafuta ukiwa na
Yeah.
gigs.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for making time. Imekuwa short and sweet, but we invite you again. Next, I think I will personally invite you. We talk about product management.
Okay.
As itself, yeah. Mariga,
Yes.
sumalizia.
Mimi. Ya kwanza, manze, like and subscribe. If you find the content.
Angalia kamera bwana. Ni kamera gani? Which one? Hiyo.
Okay, like and subscribe. Yes, and tuambie next time nataka Njoroge ongelea nini. Na Dave hapa mpatie kazi, amesema hataki push pixels. Yeah. Alafu so specialization. Kama umespecialize, mimi naweza taka sana kujua sababu specialize on a specific niche in design. Mweke hapo kwa comments. It will be very amazing nikisoma hizo stories.
Walianzaje wakafika hapo? Yeah.
Wakaamua mumua tu ni hiyo.
Na pia tuko na merchandise. Yangu ndio imekuja juzi, those kuvaa.
Boxer imefika.
Ubani wenyewe share in public.
Yeah, we have merchandises. We can customize for you if you want.
Kwa comment unaweza request
Yep.
what do you want? Yeah.
Oh, and also you're having an event on 31st March. Be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. for the event.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Karibu sana.
Karibu.
Haya.
Alright, so bye.
Oh, bye guys.